Well, we at ET now are doing a end of the quarter cement channel checks, and in fact we also had a discussion on the channel where we had two very eminent voices from Star Cement as well as a cement analyst who tracks the sector very closely. Now what's actually happened is that, and what we are understanding as far as ET now itself is concerned in terms of the entire dealer checks that we have done, number one, we're actually seeing a solid amount of recovery as far as the demand is concerned. There have been two key points that have actually ensured the demand in the quarter gone by, at least for the first couple of months, was quite subdued. Number one was the lockdown, and even though restrictions were eased quite significantly, labor issues, etc., was still a bit of a concern. However, that seems to have now ebbed quite significantly. Secondly, you also had the monsoon season, and typically during the monsoon season, what you actually witness is that the cement offtake trends are something that is quite weak. Now also what we are understanding from our dealer checks, number one, is that the volume recovery appears beyond pent-up in nature, and rural tier 2, tier 3 as well as housing demand is something that is holding up quite well. So what you're actually seeing is that, number one, it is not just the pent-up demand that was there during the lockdown, but also there appears to be some amount of green shoots. It's quite significant that there appears to be some amount of recovery as far as urban areas are concerned. Remember, rural housing, tier 2, tier 3 housing demand was something that was doing quite well for quite some time. However, still, if you're looking at the entire trends, urban housing and industrial commercial segment are still significant laggards. In terms of region-wise trends, South and West India have been leading as far as pricing is concerned. North and central prices have remained range-bound at higher levels given the consolidated markets that they live in. Eastern India has seen significant price correction, and in fact what you're actually seeing is that cost-wise headwinds too are something that the sector would be facing going forward. Both diesel as well as petcoke prices are something that have gone up quite significantly. We also have JP Morgan that has come out with a very interesting note on the entire cement universe. What they are saying is that this particular period, as the months from November until May, they believe that in this particular period, it's typically the time to go ahead and buy cement stocks on the back of the fact that they tend to outperform broader markets from November until May. What they're saying is that typically construction as well as demand is quite strong as far as the second half of the year is concerned. This is something that even the Star Cement management told us. They said that Q3 and Q4 is where they expect significant amount of traction to be seen. JP Morgan believes that this is a good time to buy into the space as valuations are quite favorable. Star Cement told us that as far as Eastern India is concerned, where they have a significant presence, prices have corrected quite significantly. At one point of time, there was a 25 rupee price correction. However, recently, there has been a pickup in demand as well as pricing. They believe that pricing is something that has come back quite significantly. And so the entire cement universe would be in focus, especially with the upcoming result season.